9 points. 9 points stand between Arsenal and the moment this football club has been waiting 22 years to feel again. Welcome to Daniel Arsenal now. I am Daniel, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and stay with me until the very end of this video because I am giving you the full breakdown, the standings, the injuries, the psychology, the tactics, the history, and exactly what Pep Guardiola's words after that West Ham draw actually mean for Arsenal's title charge in March 2026. Like this video if you are an Arsenal fan who has been waiting for this moment your entire life. Drop a comment below telling me, do you believe this is finally our year? I read every single one. Let us get into it. Pep Guardiola stood in front of the cameras at the London Stadium yesterday and said 4 words that told you everything you need to know about where this Premier League title race actually stands right now. It is not over. That was his message. Defiant, proud, refusing to accept the mathematics that every neutral in English football has already quietly accepted. And you know what? I respect that. I genuinely respect it. That is what great managers do. They believe until the final whistle of the final match of the season. That is what Guardiola has built that club around for a decade. But here is the thing. Here is what I need you to understand as an Arsenal supporter sitting at home watching this right now. The fact that Pep Guardiola had to stand in front of those cameras after a draw at West Ham and say it is not over, that is the most powerful confirmation that everything is going right for this Arsenal Football Club. Think about what we have witnessed in the last 3 seasons. Arsenal finished as runners-up 3 times in succession. 3 times. The first time in 3 years since 2001 that any club had done that in English top-flight history. 3 times we came within touching distance, and 3 times something gave way. Injuries, drop points, a lack of that final clinical spark in front of goal. 3 times we watched another club lift the trophy we knew belonged to us. Not this time. Let me give you the confirmed picture as it stands on the 15th of March 2026. Arsenal are top of the Premier League with 70 points from 31 matches. 21 wins, 7 draws, 3 defeats. The best defensive record in the division. Goals coming from multiple sources. A squad that has depth, hunger, and above everything else, a striker who has transformed the identity of this team. Manchester City are second with 61 points from 30 matches. The 9-point gap is real. It is not a number manufactured by a favourable fixture list or a run of fortune. Arsenal have earned every single one of those points through discipline, tactical intelligence under Mikel Arteta, and the kind of collective belief that has been building in that dressing room since the day Arteta walked through the door and started the process of rebuilding this football club from the ground up. City have 1 game in hand. That game in hand is the home Premier League fixture against Arsenal, which means that if City win that match, the gap reduces to 6. 6 points with a diminishing number of games remaining. It is tight. It is mathematically alive. Guardiola is absolutely correct to say it is not over. But here is the brutal reality he did not say out loud. For City to win the Premier League this season, they cannot drop a single point from this moment forward. Not one. They have to win every remaining league match. They have to beat Arsenal in that direct head-to-head. And Arsenal simultaneously would need to collapse in a way that this group of players has shown absolutely no sign of doing. Let us talk about what happened at the London Stadium, because the details of that Manchester City performance matter enormously for what Arsenal can expect going forward. City took the lead just before the half-hour mark through Bernardo Silva, their captain this season, after Kyle Walker's departure in the summer. A clever lob. Whatever the intention behind it, it went in, and City had the advantage. And for a brief moment, you could feel the title race narrative begin to shift slightly. Then Konstantinos Mavropanos headed home from a corner and it was gone. Just like that, a set piece, a moment of defensive inattention. And suddenly, a team that had come to the London Stadium needing 3 points to apply real pressure on Arsenal was leaving with 1. Guardiola spoke honestly after the match about the goal drought affecting Erling Haaland. 3 goals in his last 12 Premier League appearances. 3. This is a man who scored 36 league goals in a single season, not long ago. He is still a physical and aerial presence. He still holds the ball up. He still occupies defenders. He still has moments of genuine danger. But the clinical edge, that ruthless, automatic finishing, that made him the most feared striker on the planet, It has deserted him at the worst possible moment in the worst possible season for Manchester City. Guardiola said it himself. We did not score enough goals. We had the quality and they punished us. He said this team has struggled all season to convert the chances they create. When the best manager in the world looks at his own team and says, we struggled to score goals, that is not a problem you solve in March. That is a structural issue that has cost Manchester City the Premier League title. Now let us talk about Arsenal, because this is Daniel Arsenal now, and this is our moment. First, Victor Gyokeres. I want every Arsenal supporter watching this to take a moment and genuinely appreciate what this signing has meant to the 2025-26 season. Last summer, under new sporting director Andrea Berta, Arsenal paid Sporting CP up to £63.7 million for a striker who had scored 97 goals in 102 appearances in Portugal. The numbers were extraordinary, but there was still a question mark. Could he replicate that output in the Premier League? Could he carry the attacking burden at the level Arsenal needed? The answer is resounding. 15 goals in all competitions already this season. Arsenal's top scorer, a striker who has given Arteta's system exactly what it was missing in those 3 painful runner-up campaigns. A reference point in the final third. Someone who holds the line, makes intelligent runs, and does not miss the chances that arrive. Compare that to last season. Kai Havertz finished as Arsenal's top Premier League scorer with 9 goals. 9. It was the first time in 101 years that Arsenal did not have a player score at least 10 league goals in a season. That single statistic explains the drop points, the draws that became defeats, the matches where Arsenal dominated and left with nothing. Gyokeres has changed that, fundamentally, irreversibly. And he has given every supporter watching from the stands and from living rooms around the world the feeling that when Arsenal create a chance in 2026, it is going in. Now, I have to be honest with you about the injury situation, because that is my job. Accuracy before hype, facts before headlines. Martin Odegaard is injured. Our captain has been absent since approximately the 23rd of February with a knee problem. He has missed the FA Cup trip to Mansfield, the Premier League wins against Chelsea and Brighton, and the Champions League round of 16 first leg away at Bayer Leverkusen on the 11th of March. That match ended 1-1. Not a disaster, but not the cushion we wanted going into the second leg on Tuesday evening at the Emirates. Odegaard is reportedly on the verge of a return. The most realistic target being discussed is the EFL Cup final on Sunday, the 22nd of March, against Manchester City. Then I will come back to that fixture in a moment because it carries enormous significance beyond just a cup trophy. Mikel Merino is also absent, foot surgery in February following an injury sustained against Manchester United. The timescale on his return is currently unclear. The club have expressed hope he can return before the end of the season, but nothing is confirmed. Leandro Trossard sustained a hip problem when he was substituted before halftime in the FA Cup win at Mansfield on the 7th of March. He missed the Leverkusen first leg. His availability for upcoming fixtures is uncertain. Those are the confirmed injuries. I am not going to speculate beyond that. What I will say is this. Every team in the history of football that has won the league title has had to navigate injuries at crucial moments. Arsenal navigated them last year too. The difference this season is the squad depth that Berta and Arteta have assembled. Miles Lewis-Skelly, who signed a long-term contract extension before this campaign began, has been exceptional this season. William Saliba has returned to fitness following an ankle sprain and was available for the Leverkusen match. Gabriel Magalhaes, who also signed a new long-term deal, remains one of the best centre-backs in world football and is a confirmed starter. Declan Rice is available. Zubimendi, the £51 million signing from Real Sociedad, has been the composure-defining presence in midfield that Arteta identified as essential when he convinced him to choose Arsenal over Liverpool last summer. That was a transformative piece of transfer business. I want to spend a moment on what happened on Friday evening, because some of you may not have seen the full detail of what Arsenal did against Everton. Arsenal beat Everton 2-0, 2 goals, a clean sheet, moving to 70 points and extending the gap over City to 9 before their West Ham fixture even kicked off. But the subplot of that match deserves an entire video of its own, and I will give it that in the coming days. 16-year-old Max Dowman scored in stoppage time to become the youngest ever Premier League goalscorer. Read that again. The youngest ever Premier League goalscorer. Not the youngest ever Arsenal goalscorer. Not the youngest goalscorer this season. The youngest in the entire history of the Premier League. In a title-chasing match with the pressure of history on every shoulder in that squad, a 16-year-old stepped up and put the ball in the net. That is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is the culture Mikel Arteta has built at this football club. That is the academy pipeline, the belief, the fearlessness that runs through every level of this squad, from the veterans to the teenagers. When Ethan Nwaneri signed his long-term contract extension before this season began, Arteta spoke about the environment that allows young players to thrive. Dowman's goal on Friday is the proof. Now, the EFL Cup final, Sunday the 22nd of March, Arsenal versus Manchester City at Wembley. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking about 2025 to 26 Premier League. You are thinking about that 9-point gap. You are thinking this cup final is secondary. And tactically, in terms of standings, you might be right. But I want you to think about what that match means psychologically. Manchester City come into that final having just dropped 2 points at West Ham in the league. Guardiola is publicly saying the title race is not over, while privately knowing his margin is essentially zero. Haaland is cold in front of goal. Josko Gvardiol has been out since the 1st of January with a tibia fracture and is likely to miss the rest of the season. Mateo Kovacic is out long-term with an Achilles setback. The squad that Guardiola has built over a decade is being rebuilt on the fly. New goalkeeper in Stefan Ortega, new captain in Bernardo Silva, new signings in Reinders, Shirky, and Aït-Nouri still integrating. Arsenal, on the other hand, arrive at Wembley as Premier League leaders with 9 points of breathing room. A squad full of players who have come within touching distance of greatness 3 times and have been promised by every moment of this season that this time will be different. If Arsenal beat Manchester City in that EFL Cup final, the psychological impact on City's title challenge would be devastating. It would confirm what the table already suggests. It would send a message to every player in that City dressing room. And it would give this Arsenal squad a trophy, their first piece of silverware this season on the march toward what every supporter watching this video right now is daring to believe. I said earlier that I respect Guardiola for saying it is not over. I meant that. But I also want to be precise about what the mathematics actually require. With approximately 8 or 9 league games remaining for each side, City need Arsenal to drop enough points for a 9-point swing to occur. Even winning the game in hand only closes the gap to 6. Arsenal would then need to lose matches, multiple matches, against what remains of their fixture list. Arsenal have conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League this season. Their defensive record is extraordinary. Arteta's defensive structure, built around Saliba and Gabriel at the back with Declan Rice sitting in front of them, has been the foundation of every result. It is not a defence that collapses. It is not a defence that gifts games away on a weekly basis. The 3 defeats Arsenal have suffered this season came against real quality. They are not the kind of careless losses you see from a team about to implode. They are the margins of an elite campaign, managed intelligently and with full intent. Let me tell you what this season means in a broader context. Because sometimes when you are inside a moment, it is hard to see how big it actually is. This is Arsenal's 100th consecutive season in the English top flight. 100 years without relegation. The first club in history to achieve that milestone. We are not just chasing a Premier League title in 2026. We are doing it in the centenary season of continuous top flight football. The symbolism of ending that 100 years by lifting the trophy is almost too enormous to process. And when you layer on top of that the fact that we have finished runners-up 3 consecutive times, the first club to do so twice in English top-flight history, the hunger in that dressing room is not manufactured for press conferences. It is real. It is lived. Every player who was here through those near misses carries that weight every time they walk out onto a pitch. Arteta has spoken about it. Saliba has spoken about it. Rice has spoken about it. Odegaard, when he is fit and standing in front of a microphone, carries the quiet but unmistakable expression of someone who knows exactly how close they have been and exactly what he intends to do about it. Martin Zubimendi chose this club for a reason. Last summer, Liverpool came for him with significant intent and considerable financial power. The narrative was set. He was supposedly Liverpool-bound. And then Mikel Arteta got involved. Personally, he explained the project. He explained what Arsenal needed from Zubimendi specifically and what Zubimendi would gain from the environment at the Emirates. And Zubimendi chose Arsenal. That moment, quiet as it appeared in the summer transfer news cycle, was one of the most important signals about where this club has arrived under Arteta. When players at that level, players wanted by the biggest clubs in Europe, choose you over the competition, it tells you everything about the reputation of your manager, your project, and your future. Zubimendi has brought exactly what Arteta needed. The Spanish midfielder is a composure machine. In high-pressure matches, in moments where possession needs to be sustained under pressure, in the transitions that win and lose Premier League titles, Zubimendi has been the calm at the centre of the storm. Partnered alongside Declan Rice, the Arsenal midfield has a balance this season that it genuinely lacked in those three runner-up campaigns. I promised you I would end with the full picture, so here is where we stand on this 15th of March 2026. Arsenal lead the Premier League by 9 points. Arsenal face Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League round of 16 second leg on Tuesday the 17th of March at the Emirates. A 1-1 draw from the first leg means Arsenal are well positioned but must defend intelligently and create at home. This is a big night. Be ready. Arsenal face Manchester City in the EFL Cup final on Sunday the 22nd of March at Wembley. And somewhere in the weeks that follow, Arsenal will have additional Premier League fixtures that can close this title out permanently. Guardiola says it is not over. He is technically correct. And I would never tell an Arsenal supporter to relax, because that is not how this club works, and it is not how this fan base operates. We have been here before. We know how close can be. But I will tell you this, everything about this season is different. The striker is different. The squad depth is different. The transfer direction under Berta is different. The psychological maturity of a group that has been to the edge 3 times and knows exactly what it takes is different. And the Premier League table, that cold, unforgiving, mathematically honest document, says Arsenal are 9 points clear with March more than halfway gone. Pep Guardiola can say it is not over as many times as he wants. We have earned the right to look at this situation and feel for the first time in 22 years that it is very nearly beginning. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, top of the league, hungry, battle-hardened, historic. Let us finish the job. That is your full breakdown right here on Daniel Arsenal Now. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button right now. Every Arsenal video I produce is built on verified facts, real tactical analysis, and the genuine passion of a lifelong Gunners supporter. No hype for clicks, no guesswork for views, just the truth about this football club. Like this video if it gave you belief today. Turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown. And drop a comment below. I want to know what you think. 9 points clear in March 2026. Is this finally our year? I am Daniel. This is Daniel Arsenal Now. Come on, Arsenal.